And so that goes on for each and every class, and I'll show you how that gets done. Now, collaboration. The funny thing about this thing is we go ahead in whatever class you're in, right? So if you're in computer science, software engineering, right down here, we're going to go ahead and put who is available in your chat room for you. So if you want to talk to another classmate and say, hey, man, I didn't make it, blah, 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 you want to work out, blah, et cetera. We put all that shit on there for you. You can also get back to your email and news and events through here. And I'll get to that. And then you have a meetup place. So this is kind of like GoToMeeting, right? But we embedded it in here. So it's the same thing that I'm showing you here. Okay? Then we set the job boards out there. So you did my posts, my subscriptions, categories, etc. out here. Who's looking at my shit, actions, whatever I want to do, bid post, statistics, everything else. So I can actually start looking for a job out there. Now, the other thing that we did was put your, let's say you did a portfolio, right? You put your resume out there, you put some of your work, you put some of a lot of other stuff. So basically, if this dude was an artist or he did photography or whatever, and you could do his portfolio. You can also do the about me, right? So this is how to get a hold of it.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
Cut that fucking off. So if you wanted to list an employer, right, to come in and actually look at your portfolio, you could actually do that, right?
Okay.
And so you can upload images here, you can do things like that. Now, you don't have to have this on here. You can actually get rid of this, and you can down them, you can do whatever you want. You can add new things. Now, the interesting thing about what we did here is, I'm going to show you. Oh, come on. Is the interesting thing is, you see this parental sign-on down here?
Where?
I put in a parent's email address and a parent's password, and I set that, and I tell them, this is what I want my parent to see. So they can get onto your shit, but let's say, maybe you don't want them to look at your email. You only want them to look at your financial sheet and your account overview, or your make a payment, right?
Right.
So that's why kids don't give them their password and shit like that.
Right.
So they have to go find it. So this allows the parent to actually sign on through the kid giving them access, which, nobody else does this, by the way. Nobody else does it. And this was a bitch to figure out, but I'll tell you how that happened. So anyway, basically, I can go in there, put my parents' name, my parents' password, give them permission to what I want them to see. And I don't want them going on and see my damn, grades or whatever right now. I'll tell them that. So that's okay, but you want them to just go pay the bill.
Right.
So basically, that's what that does. So it's called parental sign-off. So outside of anything else, I can actually go back and do other web content, right? So if I want to do different web structures, if I want to do different image galleries, if I want to do bookmark calendars, etc., I can do those things like in a heartbeat, right? So if I wanted to put CNN up on my first page, I can put it up on my first page. So we arranged this, right, to do certain things. Right? So you can move it around, you can put things that are important to you up here, up down here, you can switch them, you can do whatever. Right? Now, the only thing on this one that we didn't give access to, so that's corporate-owned real estate, what we call school-owned real estate. So if the president wanted to drive a message, to you, then it's sitting in your face and you have to look at it. Okay?
Okay.
So if I wanted to also add applications, I can also do more content collaboration. I can do blogs. I can do entertainment. I can do, religion, Google. I can do whatever. Google gadgets. I can do whatever I want. So I can add shit on here that I want to put on here, right? So now that's that. Okay. So now I'm a professor, right? So I signed in as a professor. Knows who I am, what thing I'm putting, knows whatever. I've got my email up here, blah, blah, blah. So this is virtually all the same. I've got my schedule. Here's my office hours. Here's my classes already put on my schedule, etc. So the difference is now he's an employee, so I'm going to give him a bunch of this shit. So if I want to change my address, boom, there it is. One click. If I want to do an emergency contact, I can do that. If I want to add dependents, I can do that. If I want to change my W-4, I can do that. If I want to do beneficiary designations, I can do that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things, like my benefits, my finances, 401k, all of that stuff, I can do. The big thing about the professor is what we did. So we created like classroom tools, address book, class evaluation, so you can give these things to them, create a survey, create a poll, affiliations, organization, room requests, equipment requests. Here we are again. We got 5 unread messages from your students, 2 calendar requests, 1 admin alert, right? The interesting thing is here's your class activities. So here are your messages that are coming in your inbox. So he submitted homework 2 submitted. Sorry it's late, blah, blah, blah. 1 new message, I'll be absent. So all of those things, remember how they were communicating through there, now are showing up on his board.
Right.
Now, if I want to create an announcement, I'll be out of the office or whatever. It's easy. 2 clicks. Boom. It's done. If I want to do a document download and I want to say, okay, here's how I email it, here's how I share it, here's how I view all, here's how I create a new one. I browse on my computer, put in the file, descript it, and I share with the class, right?
Right.
So if I want to do class work, right? So here's all these homework assignments. Again, creating a new one. The type of assignment, the test, a project, a homework, extra credit, go browse for it. The assignment title, the description, the start date, the due date, and what the value of the assignment is. And here's the save as draft. Won't be created yet, but I can start doing that. And then the class roster, right? Now what you're going to see here is a little something that we did. So we're starting to highlight and preemptively look at people that are having trouble in your class. And these thresholds can be set by us, right? Or by the professor. So anybody failing my class, I want to be highlighting. So yeah, he's been absent twice. He's 31 out of 33. He's got a 61 in my class. What do I want to do, right? You see this little thing right here? It says now, send him resources, set up an appointment, set up a book review, take a retest, give him extra credit. So what you're doing is you're proactively trying to interact with this student and trying to get his grade up, right? Now, if he don't want to, that's his choice.
Right.
But what it's doing is it's highlighting these things to where you can start being proactive, right? You can also get into email and discussions with them. So you can actually start chatting with them on a chat board, or you can email them from that standpoint. Now, if I go into the grade book, of course, I can look at my grade book, and I can start putting in these things, right? So I can look at this dude, and I can say, viewer edit, like I said, here was the test, chapter 3. I can put in the grade and a note for the student. It's as easy as 5. So that's what we do for students. So then, I'm out. So I'm applying for admissions. Chava RIA, right?
Yep.
Florida Van 1. Chavi, what is it, 31?
Yep.
I'm just going to put here, it doesn't matter. Incoming freshman. Some of those things I hate. Okay, so. So, password. So what happens, I'm going to cheat here. So it sends your email address a temporary password, but I put it in here for demonstration purposes.
Uh-huh.
So now, So if I want to apply for school, so I'm a new student, I want to sign on to their website and I want to fill out an application, right? So remember, 3 steps. Complete application, application review, university decision, right? So get started. So if I get started on the personal stuff, you know, and education and all of that stuff, here's my personal info. Blah, 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 blah. Let me see if it'll save it. Save and continue. So I add an institution. I go in and add an institution, right? Now, allow IFT permission to receive your transcript directly from this university. We can put this on everything else. Now, I'm giving permission to go out and directly grab that stuff. But remember what, like I said, Rudy stuff does, right? So he's getting all of this info, right? And we can actually get into there, right?
Right.
And so remember, we're going to say essay submission, testing info, blah, 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 all of that stuff. Right, so here's an academic institution. I can add another one. Let's say I went to so-and-so community college. Look, GRE, GMAT, TOEFL, right? Blah, blah, blah. So he was actually going to graduate school. You were going to graduate school. So now, if I don't have your scores, now you can directly give them to me.
Okay. Right.
And I'll go out, and as soon as you type this, it goes out to the clearinghouse. And it gives me permission to grab them, and I have your information now, so I can go out and grab them. So you don't even have to do anything after that.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So here's what's make you do an essay or something like that to be there. Blah, blah, blah. So I do the and then I make you upload the file. Let's just say I did that. There's a $100 application fees. I submitted the payment. That's good. Here we go. Save and continue. Okay, submit my application, right? I understand the terms, submit my application. Okay, my application has been submitted, right? So then, basically, when I come back, I'm like, okay, application is submitted now. Now, there's certain things that have to work to make sure that your application will be reviewed in 3 to 5 business days. Now, that's depending on the calendar, that's depending on the things, blah, blah, blah. And so what's happening now is I can still look at the catalog, but I can't actually sign up for classes. Since I have 0 balances out here now, and I can do certain things. So I have a very limited access to this right now. And, at some point in time, there is, a point to where we turn around and go, oh, okay, this is it. This is good. At some point in time where I can say, okay, now if I'm accepted, I would actually be able to go in and actually start doing my semester and actually adding it and adding my major and all of that stuff. So basically, it knows enough, and what we do is we tailor it down to what portion you are in the process, if you will.
Okay.
So also all of these, like I said, a lot of these things are blanked out now. Further restrictions, all of those things. So you can still get school forms, you can still get test offers, you can still get all of those things, but you can't do the other things, right? Because they don't make sense now.
Right.
Until you're accepted.
Right.
Make sense?
Yep.